Howdy folks, been a while since we've made a new video and there's quite a bit of talking to do, lots of updates to catch you up on, and some exciting stuff. In some ways, not a lot has changed. We still don't have our shed that we'll be converting to a tiny home. Uh, so it kind of looks the same around here, but at the same time, it doesn't, if that makes sense. But we've got a lot of new things going on, a lot of new projects starting, and old ones that aren't finished. So you know how that goes. A lot of projects, not enough time. We've been here since the beginning of February, living here permanent, and we've been on solar for well over 60 days now, and that's been going good. We had a few hiccups here and there, mostly just due to programming. There was actually an issue with some hardware that the company handled properly. They sent me out a new piece, just a PCB board, and I swapped that out, and then we were right back on the road. So nothing too major there. We actually never had any downtime. Even with that, it was just that I couldn't read the voltages. The screen was blank. So, but they were really quick about that, so we got that handled. We're starting to get into the hot months. It's not terrible yet, but it's starting to warm up. And being as we spent the last year and a half in Minnesota, we are going to have to reacclimate, and it's going to be a bit of a journey. But I mean, we've been in the weather before and didn't mind it. It's just going from the cold state to the warm state throws your body off. Today it's not so bad. It is pretty windy. Hopefully the audio comes out all right. As you can see, I do have my new microphone with wind protection, so hopefully this all turns out. So without any further ado, let's get into the most exciting right off the bat. All right, so starting with the most exciting news, we have this little pallet shack here behind me. And what this is it's a chicken coop on one side and a small goat enclosure on the other, which is originally intended to be a grow out pen for a youngling, a little kid, but has turned into something more in the meantime. So let's get a little bit closer and show you what I'm talking about. So here we have the chickens in the chicken coop side. Beautiful rooster. To be honest with you, I don't know all of the names, but Alex sure does. We've got the two newest right up there up top, the black ones. That's Laverne and Shirley. They're Bantam little guys. All the hens are laying as of now. Some of them were coming out of molt when we got them, but they've begun to lay, and they're getting their feathers back. The rooster's name is Bruce Wing. This gold lace is Goldie, and this lavender Orpington is Blue. And back there inside the coop, the one laying an egg currently in that nesting box is Big Red. And that's all the ones I know. I'm not sure of the rest. But this is their little habitat, and they love it. They've got good shade from this canopy. And that's Alex's chair. She spends a lot of time out here with them. And as you can hear, we got noisy neighbors next door. Oh my goodness. Howdy, Mama. How are you doing? This here's Bella. She's approximately 5 years old. She's an alpine female goat. and she's expecting babies, we believe. She's tired. She had a rough morning. We had some neighbors come over and did some farrier work. She had some really overgrown feet, just terrible hooves. So I'll cut to an image and show you how bad that was. And she also hadn't been hand milked in quite some time, so they were kind enough to help out with that while they were here. She's not used to it. Look how much better these feet look. They did a real nice job. So I'll show you the before and after there. And then this little guy, the star of the show, he just wants your attention. Hi there, mister. Oh, this is Norman. We're not completely sure of his breed. He is a dwarf type breed. He might be Nubian. He might be pygmy. Either way, he's adorable, and he gets along good with Mama. We don't know a lot about her, but approximately 5 or 6 years. We're going to be getting a wellness check on her, but for the most part, she didn't have any mastitis. She had good, clean milk. So we did a home check, and everything's looking pretty good, and she's healthy. She just had some really overgrown feet, and she hadn't been milked in a while. So we're going to start milking her twice a day, get her on a good schedule, and yeah, she's liking it. It's a pretty small pen. It was intended to be a grow-out pen for Norman, and we ended up getting her kind of just out of nowhere. So I'll show you the pen that we're working on that should be done in a matter of days. All right. So this here is going to be the first larger pen that we're doing, and it's not huge. It's not as big as I want, but it's as big as I can afford to do right now. And Mama's singing at me. You can probably hear her. But it's going to be 25 feet by 25 feet square, and we are going to double up on this no-climb fence here, so that it's going to be twice as tall. Wood round post for the corners and the gate, and then just steel T-posts clipped on. And it's going to be nice for them to get around and run more. But down the road, I want to make something like 4 or 5 times the size of this and really get a herd going. But it will be nice to have a couple smaller ones so that we can, have a quarantine pen, a grow out pen, and maybe one for the bucks until they're weathered. And so lots of work being done, but the plan is to get this rocking and rolling and locked up tight. I got to finish the fence. We're almost there, and then I need to build a small a pallet shade structure for them, and then we'll be ready to move Mama out. But we're kind of waiting to see if she's as far along as we think she might be. We might leave her in there for the birthing. We might bring her over here so she can get moving around more, and then just move her in when she is ready to birth. We're kind of figuring out what we're going to do. Well, let's go ahead and check some other stuff out now. All right. So I mentioned earlier that we've been on solar for well over 60 days now as our only source of energy here. And so, although it's not beautiful, I thought I'd share with you what it looks like and how it's set up. The reason I say it's not beautiful is because it's a very temporary, even though it's been going on for over 60 days, it is temporary. I need to build a full-size permanent rack for them to be mounted to. They are just leaned up right now on some wood structures that I've built. Some of them are even just leaned up on sawhorses. It's terrible, but at least they're facing the right direction and they're at close to the appropriate angle. And, well, we're making electricity. That's what matters. So we have 18 panels total that are here. We're only using 10. That's just due to lack of wire and space to properly set them up. So we've got 5 on the left and 5 on the right, and they're wired in series up to 5 and then paralleled. So you've got 2 strings, 2 parallels of strings of 5, and they're 250 watt each. They are technically 24 volt panels, but your VOC is actually about 33.5 volts. So let's go ahead. You can see the shed in the background. Let's go ahead and head in there, and I'll show you what everything's doing. All right, kind of nice to get out of the wind. So here we have the battery bank. They are lithium iron phosphate, or just lithium, as some people call it. And you can see there it's a 48 volt server rack battery, but nominally it is 51.2 volts, 100 amp hours. And because they're wired parallel, the amp hours increase, but the voltage stays the same. So we have a 300 amp hour, 51.2 volt battery bank of lithium, which comes out pretty close to 16 kilowatts or 16,000 watts. And here we have our all-in-one unit. It's our solar charge controller. It is our inverter, and it also does grid tie or generator line in. So if you need to charge, or if you're on the grid, you have line in. And again, this is our temporary setup, even though it's been going on way too long. There's just one outlet and one light switch. The light switch just powers this LED light here. I know it's not safe. I know it's not great. I do have all my fuses in my panel box. I just need to get around to doing it. But the batteries themselves, they communicate with each other, and they balance. And they also have the built-in breaker, and they have a built-in BMS. So they manage themselves pretty well. They're pretty safe. They take care of what they need to, temperature and everything. And then this unit as well has a lot of safety features. So right off the bat, I can show you our output. So this is what we're drawing out of the unit into these outlets into various appliances. We're drawing roughly 600 watts. Our battery bank is 53.4 volts, so we're getting pretty close to a full charge. Let's see what else we got. So we're using 11% of what this unit can do for our load, which I believe is 7,500 watts. And outputting voltage. Okay, so the battery is receiving 961 watts from the solar. That's how much is going into the battery to charge it. And it's going in at 18 amps. Our total solar input, so what's coming in from the panels, is 1,670 watts, and that's read in kilowatts, so 1.67 kilowatts. So 1,600 watts coming in. It's coming in at 13.4 amps and 125 volts, and that's all direct current. And this is the second PV. So what that is you have two inputs. You have positive, negative of input 1, positive, negative of input 2. This is not being used yet. This is my other panels. I'm eventually going to do 9 panels on here and 9 panels on here. So that's going to be the full term setup, just not around to it yet. And this unit does have Wi-Fi, so anywhere in the world, as long as I have signal, I can check on this from my phone. I can get all these same readouts and more. I can even change settings if I need to, all from my phone, which is really nice. And the way we do that is because we also have Wi-Fi here at home. I have a thermometer. Wow, it's hot in here. It's 100 degrees, so I have a fan up there that's running 24/7. I've got a vent up there, and I'm trying to insulate it, but it's just getting very hot in here. This is also running on solar, so we've got a nice deep freezer. But yes, I do need to work on keeping the shed at a much better temperature. So I might even end up just moving this into the house when it arrives, even though I liked it being out here. It might just be better to have it in a properly controlled environment with air conditioning. I hoped that this shed would be fine if I insulated it and ventilated it, but it's just too hot. There's not enough ventilation, not enough airflow. Yeah. So that's been an ongoing thing I'm worrying about. So far, nothing's, it'll shut down if it reaches too high of a temperature. Obviously, I don't ever want to get to that point, and it hasn't happened yet. I just try to monitor it, and if I'm home, I'll open this door and let some more air in. But this is our solar setup as of yet. Another big update, we got a washer machine. This is also running completely on solar. Just the water supply just comes in from the camper. We have a garden hose that comes from the outside spigot on the camper, and it runs off the 12-volt DC water pump that pumps water in, and it works just like it would at your house, except when the water dumps out, it goes into a garden hose out there into the field and just dumps in the base of a bush, and it's pretty awesome. We're doing our laundry with a machine off solar, and then we're hanging our clothes up to dry in the sun. And here we have baby girl and big mama.
Which one's baby girl? Which one's big mama?
Your baby girl. That's big mama, because she's pregnant. What are you feeding her?
Animal. Oh God, it's a goat.
It's a goat graham cracker. That's just horrible.
Animal cracker.
That's goat on goat violence.
She likes them.
Yeah, I bet. They got sugar in them. Well, what do you think of Big Mama then? Or Bella is what we're calling her.
Bella.
What do you think of her?
She's nice.
She's big, ain't
That's
she?
on my foot.
Oh, I bet that hurt.
Yeah.
She walking better now with that. She's got her hose trimmed, huh?
Last one. You want to feed her one?
Sure. Oh, this one's an elephant. I guess that ain't so bad. Oh, yeah. We're spoiling you. All right. Say hi to everyone.